Hey guys, how you doing? We got a World War III update here. Late last night, I've been away from my computer, guys. I'm sorry that it's taken me so long to make a video on this, but late last night, I saw that North Korea fired what they called an ICBM, and the first responses started pouring in, and we saw mainstream media hit this pretty hard, and both Russia and the U.S. both came out and said, hey, they launched a ballistic missile. We believe it landed in the Sea of Japan, but we don't think it was an ICBM like North Korea was stating, because North Korea's state-run media, their propaganda machine, came out and stated that they could hit anywhere in the world now. Huge achievement. And it was a huge achievement. This is a landmark test for North Korea, right? And then midday today, earlier today, the U.S. had an emergency meeting. Trump had an emergency meeting in the White House regarding North Korea. And we found out that they believe it actually was a two-stage ICBM missile test, and it could definitely hit Alaska. We don't believe it could hit mainland United States, the West Coast, whether that be Washington, Oregon, or California, or even Hawaii for that matter, but it could hit Alaska. All right, and so we found out that the U.S. took a back seat and said, hey, let's think about this a little bit, analyze the data. Okay, yeah, we believe it's an ICBM, and it took them around 12 hours to figure that out. So my thinking here is, Russia's still saying it was an ICBM. Of course, North Korea is going to say it was an ICBM. And this has been on mainstream media, front page, Western mainstream media, since it happened. My thinking is, if it wasn't an ICBM and the U.S. is stating it is, it's because they're trying to get global powers behind them to stop North Korea. And what better way than to up the ante of the threat to the world? This maniac having these missiles and having this nuclear power. But at any rate, guys, this was a landmark test for the North Koreans. All right, this was another test that fell into the Sea of Japan, but this test, it reached an altitude of around 1,700 miles and flew lengthwise about 580 miles. This is another provocation on the eve of the 4th of July. Just a week ago, we had H.R. McMaster, the warmonger, the national security advisor for the Trump administration, come out and say that North Korea was an imminent threat and that we had to do something about them. And that's when we put out those sanctions for that Chinese bank. And then the South Korean president, President Moon, came to visit with Trump. He had a meeting. They came out to the Rose Garden and said, hey, the era of strategic patience is over. And what happens? 3 days later, how convenient and how poorly timed. Kim Jong-un tests this supposed ICBM missile. And it just has the U.S. in a huge tizzy right now, just because we got the G20 coming up, and Putin and Trump are having this sideline discussion, this bilateral meeting, which most likely they were going to talk about Syria, guys. They were going to talk about Syria, maybe Qatar, Ukraine, but now front page, most important thing that they're going to talk about most likely is going to be North Korea. And at this point, Trump's response was an angry tweet saying, hopefully China makes a huge move now. Well, that's just not going to happen. See, what we've done with China is just bad diplomacy here. Trump said how he was big friends with President Xi of China. They got along really well. And honestly, our tensions and our friendship with China was on an upswing. We seemed like we were becoming closer, just a closer relationship, what we've had in the past 4 to 8 years. And then we found out, oh wait, we're selling weapons to Taiwan. That's going to piss China off. Oh wait, we have the THAAD system in South Korea. Oh, that's going to piss China off. We've been doing these different things, to get on the bad side of China. And now apparently the U.S. is we're wanting China to take care of this North Korea problem. They know North Korea is not going to attack them. They know that they're not a threat to them. They've been long-standing allies. They might, be on thin ice with each other right now, but North Korea is not going to attack China. And now the U.S. is looking to China like, hey, bud, are you going to take care of this? And China's like, whoa, hey, we've been on the rocks lately. But guys, we got the G20 coming up later this week. The U.S. has requested a closed-door meeting with the United Nations Security Council to discuss North Korea and this recent launch, and most likely it's going to take place tomorrow. So the next few days to next week are pretty crucial to see how we're going to respond, because Trump and the United States stated that they're going to have a measured response to this, whether that's military buildup, more flyovers with bombers. We don't know yet. We have seen the U.S. do different missile tests in response, but I don't believe that's the measured response that they're talking about at this time. Guys, we're just going to have to see where this goes. As more information comes out, we'll discuss it, we'll talk about it. Once again, sorry it took me so long to get this video up to discuss it. But make sure you guys check back, because we always try to talk about the current events in the world as they happen as fast as we can. Alright? I hope everybody in America have a happy 4th, and everybody else just have a blessed day. Keep your eyes peeled. Watch what the media tells you. Inform your friends and family, guys. All right, peace out.